Hi everyone, this is Vishnuvardhan Reddy here. Uh, Today we are going to discuss how to deploy and perform ML operations with AWS SageMaker using ZEET, and we shall discuss what are we going to actually have regarding ZEET performance and CI/CD machine learning pipelines, and how are you going to automate end-to-end perform operations using MLOps and all. So, so what is ML operations? ML operations is an end-to-end lifecycle management of an ML project. Suppose if you are considering a project and you have deployed it into some pipeline, uh, and due to the flags and everything, maybe the cache issues or the flags issues, there could be some sort of errors in the operations in the pipelines. So what does ML operations does in that pipeline is it will curate a data curation pipeline over it and learn from its mistakes. If you solve one sort of problem, and the next sort of problem will be automatically solved uh, of the same kind. So that is why we have to use ML operations for the pipelines. So it will be very easy to solve, and the load of the work can be reduced. ML operations lifecycle management will be it will be starting from code management, data management, model building, model management, and model profiling. And also, it does not stop, and we can also check what is happening with the test cases and all. We can perform these tasks using Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud Platform or Node.z, and there are multiple packages. So in Microsoft Azure, we'll be using Resource Package Manager, and in Google Cloud Platform, we'll be using Console, and on AWS we'll be using either Vertex or SageMaker. These Google's Vertex and AWS SageMaker and Microsoft's Azure's resource package managing. And, these three are very famous for right now in the form of machine learning operations performance. So we can also governance the model and model deployment. After the model deployment, we can actually check the do that smoke test. That is kind of a testing, like black box testing, you can say. And data capturing and drift monitor, which is very important. We can uh, peek into the performance of operations of the performance of the application at time from time to time, so that if anything happens weird in the application, we can actually solve it right away. So why did I use ZEET? ZEET is basically this application will actually provide the multiple cloud platforms. So we can see like AWS, Google Cloud Platform, and Microsoft Azure. This also can be concentrated by taking the Docker images and also building Docker images from the GitHub repository. Within a few commands, we did not stress much, and we did not install everything on our system. This will provide every interface over in the ZEET, so that we can utilize them and utilize AWS and Google Cloud platforms, our own credentials only. So in that way, we can utilize all these operations without having not having any load on our system. So ZEET's application could be anything from the static website, backend API, job workers to open source project. So this the process will be basically like deploying the app as Docker container and running Kubernetes clusters. So that is Kubernetes clusters are managed by ZEET here, and our app is deployed in serverless framework like GCP or AWS, and we'll be deploying Helm chat to Kubernetes clusters that are connected to ZEET. This Helm chat is a database that is ZEET's native database that are provided by cloud services from AWS or Docker containers. So this application will be persistent volume or even a home chat. So this will always be very high in performance, very efficient in performance, and time complexity is also too low. And ZEET also provides the rest of the databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, and Redis. But that's up to us whether we'll be using it or not. And the infrastructure from more advanced cloud resource management is provided by ZEET. Like we can also do Terraform, CloudFormation, and Plumni. Um, with the same auto CI/CD branch preview and source to cloud integration with these frameworks and all. The ML components that we can see in the MLOps is workspace that can compute blobs experiments, and blobs are really important here for the pipeline. So without the blob, we can't even run it on the SageMaker. Even SageMaker itself is a like a blob running machine in the on the AWS, and dataset we will be gathering the dataset and we'll be training and testing the data completely, and after running the taking the outputs and metrics, model registry, and we'll be profiling and performing the deployment activities by creating this CI/CD pipeline using Kubernetes and whatever we say, Azure or AWS or anything. And after that, we'll be capturing real-time prediction in the deployment model, and then we'll be taking actions and changes in the features, distribution, data quality. We'll be drifting a natural drift shift, a change in the relation between features. And how does this our thing works with DevOps particularly is so either Azure or GCP or AWS will be having the same kind of model training almost. So our data file, if we give our data file, the data set will be the blob will be turned into the data set, and it will be trained with hyperparameters and features. So few classifiers and regresses are pushed to train with the hyperparameter tuning, and external libraries will also be an added advantage here for our application, the way we have coded. And inference and configs will be very important. So this inferences uh, gives the pipeline artifacts through the Docker and Azure registry. Uh, and this Azure and Kubernetes will be deployed in the CDP pipeline. So that will be the data drift to monitor and capture for us. And let me show you some of the samples and how does it work in the on the real time. So this is the AWS SageMaker that I have been utilizing from from the GitHub repo. I have imported my GitHub repo. So I have implemented everything here, like the notebooks and the application that I am actually in need of. So it all right. So after utilizing this SageMaker, and in this way I can actually run from this and utilize this AWS SageMaker itself to give the output, and but that takes a little kind of Docker and Jenkins implementation and little process more. What I have done is I have utilized ZEET and deployed the whole application into the ZEET, and the ZEET will be taken care of. After committing, it will be building. After multiple trials, I got this application deployed. We can actually look at the runtime logs of the application, and this application is currently running on the next tab after I deployed. So and it will be we can see every log and we can monitor everything, and we can also, and everything deployments logs will be provided by the AWS itself, because we have opted for the AWS. These are the previous builds that got failed, and the AWS metrics and AWS logs or the CloudWatch directly from the AWS CloudWatch that is being provided by ZEET. It does not. If you want, it can also provide its own metrics and all. But due to more trust on AWS and Amazon Web Services, we can actually opt for that. We can see the metrics here, and or we can view directly in the AWS CloudWatch everything, the CI/CD pipelines and all. We can see something like it got deployed on December 16th at that time. So right now it is on the in the pass mode, so we can't see any graph. And and then by from time to time we can actually change the dependencies or the commands, or the resources that we are going to allocate for this. Mm. And we can even do the networking and database change and all if you want. Right now, S3 bucket is also out of creative for me in AWS. So I couldn't use any database. I'm using only ZEET database right now. And now this is the application that I have run. This is just a message I'm printing. Welcome to MLOps webinar, and this we can also. I will show you the drift change, how it is getting drifted and all. Let me open the code. Suppose let me say I'll be taking charge of. Let me import some library which is of no use. And let me push the change. So let's go. Yeah. It already started building because I have just now deployed it on the GitHub, and as there was a change in my GitHub repo, it started building automatically. So this is how we can add features by drifting the change over here in the MLOps using ZEET, SageMaker of AWS. So this is my application on MLOps using a third-party ZEET service. Including SageMaker. So SageMaker is one of without SageMaker this wouldn't have been possible only with ZEET. With SageMaker and the CloudWatch from the AWS would had helped a lot in this service. So that's for this video demo, and thanks for watching.